Hey there, this is Austin from Purity Music, and today I'm bringing you a little review and comparison on the Yamaha SLG200 series, which is the silent guitar series of Yamaha, which, as you can see, has very little body to speak of, unlike myself. And they do two versions. They've got a steel strung version, which I'm holding right here, and a nylon string version. So both are pretty much the same in their overall build, obviously, but they're catered for the different type of string that they have. What I'm holding in my hand here is the steel strung version, and both of them have, like I say, have exactly the same body build. So they have this hollow construction with the main stem coming through. You can take this section off, which makes it easier for storage. The cases are very small for these, so it makes it very, very easy. And you literally just take off the end pins for the straps, and this section will come off. So on this, I'll get this up to the camera so that you can see it, hopefully. And I'll do this for this version only. Now, as you can see on the controls, we have a fair few here. You got your power on button. This is obviously your battery compartment. Takes two AA batteries. This here is your power button, your tuner button, your primary volume control, and then you've got your treble control, your bass control, and over here your auxiliary control. Now your auxiliary control is for an auxiliary socket which is in the back. What you can do, sorry, it's not actually down the back, it's actually down the bottom there, you can see there. It's also got a DC power jack as well if you want to power it up. So you've got the headphone socket here, but so it's good for private practice, and it comes with a pair of earphones. Not the greatest earphones in the world, so I've heard, but actually they weren't too bad, especially for private practice. Here you've got an effects control and a blend control. Now the blend control is the two types of pickup. You've got a piezo pickup, which is under the bridge as you normally would. That's the same with the gut string and the steel string version. But what it also has is another pickup within, which simulates the presence of a mic and amp combination. So you've professionally mic'd up an amplifier to get that kind of nice rich bassy sound, and that can blend between your normal piezo pickup and the amp simulated sound, which I must admit is very, very nice. Even if you're going through an amp, it's very nice to have, because then you just get that lovely crisp, rich, warm tone that you get from both of these guitars in their very different ways, but they are very, very good. But then you have the effects control, and you've got two types of reverb, a plate and a hall reverb. Now you don't actually change the effect amount by a button or presets. It's literally just different sort of settings, algorithms within that area control. So you'd have, like, you have your first plate reverbs, then you go up into the hall section, but then you go up into the third section, which you can't really probably see very well, and that is chorus. Now both of the guitars have exactly the same control set and everything like that, so I won't go through them both individually. And like I said earlier on, there's also an auxiliary socket and volume, which means if you are having private practice, not only will you hear the guitar sounds with the effects, all in stereo, I might add, but not only will you hear those, you also can mix in if you've got a little cable. So obviously you can mix in from an iPhone or an iPod, MP3 player, whatever you have, hi-fi system. Let's have a listen to what it sounds like. So at the moment, what I'll do is I'll have everything set completely flat and on the piezo pickup with the volume up full. So the first thing you'll hear is just, that's the guitar as it is. Could probably do with a new set of strings on it, I must admit, but there you go. So, pretty good sound, I would say. Very, very nice sound. Like I say, it could probably benefit from a new set of strings right now, but other than that, very good. Now, I'm going to take it to full blend, which is the amp simulated sound. Now, most recording studios, when you're recording, you'd probably have a blend of the two anyway. So if I take that now down into 50%, which is half a piezo pickup and half of the simulated sound, you'll get something that sounds a bit like this. Now what I find you get with that is you get the nice top end, you get that lovely low end, and a crisp middle end, middle area, which is really, really lovely. So what more is to say about that? Now, with the reverbs, let's have a little listen to one of the reverbs. So that's built into the guitar. That's no external effects, nothing through the mixer. That is just the guitar. And you get different levels. Like I said, there's 3 tiers of the effects: reverb, reverb 2, and chorus. So you can hear that's a slightly deeper reverb now, bigger room. You go into the second tier reverb, which is your hall reverb now, not your plate or room reverb, it's now hall. A little bit more. Nice long reflected reverb. So very, very nice. Take that now up to the full area. So a lot of reverb in there. Now going into the chorus, very nice smooth reverb. That's right at the beginning of the reverb algorithm set. So let's take that up a bit more. Takes it a little bit more depthy. Very depthy. Gives you that 12-string simulated effect, which is very nice. And then, so that's more or less up full. Let's just take it up full. Add a little bit of extra treble there. Very 12-string effect now. So that's the kind of thing that we're getting with the SLG200S steel strung version. So here we are with the SLG200N, the nylon string version. And as you can see, in more or less every way it's exactly the same. Difference between the 2 versions of the guitars that I have is that the steel strung has a more natural wood finish, the darker wood finish, and this one has the black kind of ebony, glossy ebony look in the middle there. But all the controls, everything else is exactly the same, other than the nylon strings of course. So let's have a little play of this one. Now again, as I did with the last test out with the steel strung, I've got this at the moment on the piezo pickup. Ditch the plectrum out. So I've got a very deep sound in there. It goes straight into the main acoustic simulated sound. You might notice it's very, very clear. In comparison to the pickup, it just has a more natural tone to it, rather than there's this little hiss with the piezo pickup. Some might think it's maybe over-processed, but I think it's rather lovely, to be honest. A blend of the two, which obviously on the steel strung version gave quite a lovely bright tone. Let's see what it does with this. Bassier, definitely. So probably bassier, so rather than the top end coming out more so, the bottom end comes out. So I actually find I like this one on about 3 o'clock. As you look at it, it'd be about 3 o'clock. So probably having it at 75% blended towards the pickup, maybe just a little extra treble, just to give that. Sometimes a little bit of fret buzz is quite nice. I like to have that loud. where this guitar really comes alive is when you use the integrated effects. So I'm going to leave it on the settings that I just had. I'm just going to add a little bit of the reverb. I don't so much think the chorus on this one, but you'll find out, and you know, your mileage may vary of what you actually like. This is the plate, the room reverb. And a little bit more reverb. Now, this is the second tier reverb. A little bit more high end on this reverb, which I actually prefer. A little bit more of that reverb. My personal favourite now. Moving on to the chorus. This is the lowest the chorus will go on this. A little bit more. Other than the dynamics of picking and fingering and stuff like that, it actually gives a very kind of synthesized tone, very much like a keyboard or workstation of some sort, to be honest. And now, full chorus. Not that you're going to do much strumming on this, although I have used this in a situation where I was the only musician and I used the deeper reverb. So that's pretty much both of those guitars. So they're both good for different reasons, what they're going to be doing, what your usage case is going to be. I find this guitar is brilliant when you use it on its own. It's a bit harder to mix when it's with other instruments, depending on what you're doing. Certainly if you're going to be sort of strumming away, you know, strumming away or anything like that, you know, it blends lovely. It's a fantastic instrument, but I find if you're going to, you know, you're going to do anything that's sort of more picky on it, I find that's where you're really going to, where it's really going to shine and you're going to get the real benefit. I think that's where it's really going to shine, is in that, all that picking, you know, and isn't that lovely reverb? It's really, really, really lovely. So, to be honest, would I put one above the other? No, because it's their use cases really what it's really down to. So, you know, if you're picking, I would go for the N version, the 200N. If you're looking for a kind of studio set light guitar to carry around, to use in almost every kind of case, I'd go for the 200S, the steel strung version. But both guitars are extremely solid in their sound and their quality, not so much in their body, because they have no body to speak of. But they are wonderful guitars. The tuner on them, again, is very accurate. The effects are beautiful. Again, I would probably put the chorus more towards the steel strung than using it on the nylon strung version. But again, you know, if you're using, you know, and you're in a quiet setting, you want a light chorus and you have it running from this, you know, and you maybe have an outboard effect, You know, I would say this is more for somebody. These guitars are for the kind of traveling, the kind of busking, the kind of, you know, where you don't need to carry around a lot of stuff, and you're doing intimate, I think, intimate kind of location gigs, that kind of stuff. This is where these things really, really shine. You know, they're so easy to transport, and you can plug them into a pair of headphones and just be on your own, you know, and just immerse yourself in this lovely stereo effect that the Reverb, especially on both of them, gives. So, highly recommended. Obviously, you know, UK, they're coming in about £470 a pop. Anywhere up to some places 600 or so pounds, you know, so get yourself a deal, get yourself an SLG. Certainly one of the nicest guitars I've used in, you know, what I'm doing, you know, on stage at the moment. I do like them, but there's always more guitars. Like, subscribe, comment down below. I'm going to be going through my collection. It's been suggested to me that I should go through my collection and just do a review, do a little say something on every guitar I've got, and maybe I'll even go back in the past to some guitars that I used to have which I don't have anymore, but some of which for nostalgia reasons I've found. So hit the little bell to get notifications. Obviously I'm doing all sorts of stuff on this channel, you know, like computer related, tech related regarding mixing, and obviously guitars. So come back, I'll see you soon.